The atmosphere at Le Vérité was usually one of hushed elegance, but Table 7 was doing its best to shatter the ambience. Mr. Harrington, whose face suggested he was smelling something unpleasant, was leading a loud, celebratory discussion with three equally smug investors. Their topic, shouted over the fine clinking of cutlery, was Ornet, a new self-healing polymer technology. Harrington bragged loudly about the acquisition and the billions it would soon yield, oblivious to the fact that his volume was irritating the entire dining room. Elias, the waiter attending their table, was moving quickly and silently. He was an older man, sharp-eyed, with a meticulous attention to detail that seemed utterly wasted on carrying plates and clearing crumbs. "You know what?" Harrington slurred, holding up an empty, deeply stained glass as Chateau Margaux. "I think we paid enough in taxes for one evening. Let's send a message to the establishment." He caught Elias approaching with a fresh bottle of rare, Duck Merlot. Harrington winked at his partners, a sickening, conspiratorial gesture. As Elias leaned in with practiced care to begin the pour, Harrington subtly extended his foot, hooking the waiter's ankle with deliberate, malicious precision. The move was precise, deliberate, and devastating. Elias pitched forward violently. The bottle of rich, dark Merlot arced through the air and exploded against his chest, showering his immaculate white shirt, black vest, and the pristine white tablecloth in a dark, sticky, staining mess. Elias gasped, staggering back and dropping the service tray. The three investors burst into loud, mocking laughter, delighted by the cheap entertainment. "Oh, for heaven's sake," Harrington roared, wiping tears of false concern from his eyes. "Look at this incompetence. My tailor jacket is ruined. This clumsy idiot has splashed wine all over me. You know what? We are not paying a penny of this bill. Get your manager, and I demand compensation for my suit. I also demand this entire incident be documented for the restaurant's insurance carrier." The other investors quickly took up the chant, pointing and mocking Elias's suit uniform, treating him like an object, not a person. Elias slowly placed the shattered bottle neck back on the remaining portion of the service tray. He looked down at the crimson stains spreading across his clothes, then back up at Harrington. His usual meek expression vanished instantly, replaced by an intense, almost surgical focus. "I apologize for the minor stain on your jacket, Mr. Harrington," Elias said, his voice calm, measured, and possessing a deep, professional authority that silenced the entire table instantly, replacing their laughter with sudden apprehension. "But I must disagree strongly with your assessment of my competence." He reached into his back pocket, not for a handkerchief, but for a meticulously folded legal document. "My name isn't just Elias," he continued, pulling off his black bow tie and tossing it onto the wreckage of the table. "It's Elias Vance. I am a managing partner at the esteemed legal firm of Vance, Chambers and Lowe, specializing in complex intellectual property and international patent litigation." The investors exchanged panicked, fearful looks, the champagne suddenly tasting like poison. Harrington stood up, sputtering, his self-control evaporating. "This is absurd. You're just a waiter. This is a pathetic attempt to blackmail us. I am currently on sabbatical, Mr. Harrington. I took this temporary position because, as a waiter at a restaurant you consider beneath you, it was the only way I could get consistently close enough to your team without raising suspicion," Elias explained, nodding towards the table. "You have been using this restaurant as your informal and fatally unsecured conference room for weeks, discussing stolen schematics and acquisition strategies within clear earshot of staff you deemed too worthless to listen." Elias then pointed to the ruined table. "You see, that spilled wine wasn't an accident, Mr. Harrington. It was the crucial, necessary final piece of evidence required to move this case from a civil suit to a criminal indictment." He tapped the sodden, wine-soaked tablecloth, explaining the final, devastating component of his legal trap. "The table surface here, supplied by an exclusive German vendor, is coated in a unique chemical resin designed to neutralize organic acids, allowing us to process the linen quickly." When that highly acidic Merlot hit the table, The resin caused a localized precipitation reaction. It captured the unique biometric residue left by your repeated, greasy fingerprints on those coasters, along with specific microfibers from the hardcopy schematics which we know were stolen that you were reviewing just 10 minutes ago. Elias pulled a small, tamper-proof plastic bag from an inside vest pocket, holding it carefully. It contained a now isolated, wine-soaked corner of the tablecloth. This, Mr. Harrington, is conclusive, physical proof linking your fingerprints, and your loud, criminally revealing conversation directly to the stolen intellectual property. He pulled a phone from his other pocket, pressing a contact. My senior legal team already has a filed, court-approved injunction, freezing all assets related to Orionet. They were just waiting for confirmation of this final piece of material evidence, which you so graciously provided by assaulting a federal witness. Your arrogant sealed the deal. He met Harrington's horrified, trembling gaze. Enjoy the rest of your dinner, gentlemen. The full bill for this wine, the ruined tablecloth, and my ruined uniform, naturally, will be added as punitive damages to the impending lawsuit. The police and federal marshals will arrive shortly to conduct the seizure. Elias Vance, still dripping Merlot, walked past the silent, utterly defeated table, shedding his ruined uniform vest and apron as he went. The investors were trapped, not just by the bill, but by their own corrosive combination of greed and contempt, defeated by the man they assumed was only there to serve them.